So my dojang's no student is supposed to be failed. I'm going to make everybody become a winner. I have a responsibility to teach them to become winner rather than teach them to become a failure. But before doing the exam, we give them a pre-exam, trying to let them ready much as possible, so let them become qualify for the take the exam. Then after they qualify, while they performing the exam, they knew, but they may forgot, or they may be nervous, so they performed wrong. Then what I'm doing it, we separate them from the group. Then let them training. I send it to the instructor to help them more. Make sure he's confident enough to coming back to completed his exam. So we try to whichever way to find a way to help them to become completed the exam, then and also let them be pass the exam. Then I first person in the United States I change it to the test to exam, but now I see so many people using it as an exam. They're not saying it test anymore. So whatever language we're using it, yes, I'm still having it's pretty short with the English, so a lot of mistakes I'm making it. But whatever we using in language, we have to watch out what kind of is a benefit we can give to our student. Or maybe in some language I'm using it for maybe discouraging my student for their future improvement. So that's why I'm really asking everybody, thinking about every day, whatever you teach us in the dojang, connected to your everyday actions. Why we practice speed? Just to practice speed with kick and punches? No, we apply to our daily life. Something you learned about how to quickly done. Then when you work for your company, how to do that with quickly done, then you can finish many tasks while somebody else is doing it. Maybe barely just started, you may be able to finish it. But before we're using it as a speed, then what do we have to do? Correct action. Action must be correct. Wrong things, you're doing it fast, then even you're going to make it even more trouble. We must do the right things, do that with the speed. So all those things, even power. What is the power? I mean, we daily life powers, knowledges, and with the righteousness. And sometimes when you're lying yourself, I did that myself. It's when I was, many young ages, and it's without knowing yourself. Sometimes you're doing it lying too. Some people never lying. I don't know anybody who never lied in their life. But it's but when you do lying, you really feel guilty. They make you weaker. But when you're doing the right things, nothing to fear about. So we have a right techniques we practice, right attitude we practice. That can be transfer to your daily life. Your power you practice, you transfer to your daily life. Coordination you practice, you transfer to the daily life. Everything has to be coordinated for that you can have a successfully done with your daily life as well. Nothing you practice in the Taekwondo not relate to your daily life. That's why Taekwondo training is a way of life. That's why Taekwondo training make you develop 홍익인간, benefiting. It's a humanity beyond the horizon. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with me? Give me a hand too. My lifelong story is a lot of things that maybe I can share with you. But one thing, and maybe just maybe two stories maybe I like to share with you before I was handing out to some professional child character development education program, some developed it. Actually, I developed with the technical advice, but they made some like a formality to easy to understand everybody. So later on, that can be a benefit to the some schools and students. But maybe those things, maybe I can ask someone to do that. Before that, I'd like to share with you two things. I proudly share with you two things. One, I bought 2 times as buildings. One times, 1984, I bought was at about 7,000 square foot buildings. And during that time, it's $250,000. It's in this town. I didn't have any money, but I did it. How? It's amazing. The only we Taekwondo people can do that. We had this one lady in the town of Herndon, as a look at her as the most mean person. Almost nobody around her didn't like her. But I didn't have a really good relationship with her. But she was an older lady. My dojang was a corner of the main street. Then it's a bus stops right in front of our dojang. Snow day, rainy day, sometimes the shitty days, windy day, and the shitty days with the umbrellas, standing there, she's getting wet, soaking wet, having really difficult things happen. So I saw that. It was an older lady, no matter even how many people didn't like her, but doesn't mean to it's, I see some things, it's, so the older lady's having a suffer. So I didn't want to just watch her suffer. So that's why I went out and asked her to, would you come in? Beginning she's rejected. I grab her, no, I cannot see you just standing out there soaking wet. Please come, sit down. That's okay, you can see outside from the window. Like I saw you outside from inside our dojang. Then finally she came in. Then every time when she comes there, she's never come in by her own. every time I go out and it's Oscar to come in. Every time. A few years later, my first child was born. Then that was in 1981. Beginning, I didn't have its first, second, and I bought those building 84, but it's beginning, I just getting was her has a baby crib, so I got a really cheap furniture from everywhere. Then that I have that because I was financially very weak. About 1984, with Dojang was getting better and better, and I feel like I can getting better bed for my daughters. She had this furniture store. I went to her stores, right next to my building. So I wanted to buy my daughter's a bed, and she said, "Oh, Mr. Lee, you wanted to buy it? I will give you maybe a 25% discount." Thank you, ma'am. Then I shopping around and I got it. Then I decided to purchase certain things, and then she said, "Mr. Lee, I was trying to close my business in July. Maybe I can give you 70% discount." That's not 70. 70% discount doesn't register my head. But only I hear her, she's closing those business. Then I ask her, "Isn't it you owns this building?" Then she said, "Yes." Then if you're retiring, now what are you going to do with this building? I plan to sell. He said, "This is on market." That's what she said. I didn't ask her. I just asked her right away, "Can you help me to let me buy this building?" I just asked her, "You want to buy it? Okay, I will sell to you." Then she called her son. Her son was his real estate lawyer. And her son, "I'm not going to sell this building to anybody. I have found some my buyers." She said, "Then hang up." Then I realized somebody was already in contract. Then it's breaking up. Well, you know what the Jewish culture is. Sometimes a mother says something, son cannot fight with the mother, his mother's. So then he came and tell me, "Mr. Lee, no way I can do that because I already have a contract." I understand. Then I almost gave up. But she came to visiting me and tell me, "Mr. Lee, don't worry. My son's, he going to listen whatever I said." I told him I'm not going to sell this building to anybody other than you. Then I realized I didn't have money. Even any down payment for anything. So I said, "Ma'am, it's okay. I don't have any money." I realized I just had my greedy mind, wanted to have this building. That's why I just say that, but I don't have any money, so I couldn't do that. She said, "Don't worry. you can pay back later. I don't even have a down payment. You know, he said, I can do owner financing too. So she did all kind of way of helping me. Then end up I got to those buildings. And I had really many days I did it with constructing myself. And we built this new building there. We had a successfully operating. And up to Dojangs grown up to be 800 students. About Chris was there at that time. And Denmark was the successful Dojang, but it's that area is getting boom. That's why I had to move it to some other place. And I was looking for some other place. That was in the 2004, I guess, so 20 years later. I just looking for building. I was hoped to be maybe something, my budget to maybe I can purchase, but one building, it's a current building what we have. $3.2 million came out to be those buildings. I was trying to negotiate anyway, owner. Then it's beginnings of real estate agents. I negotiated with real agent. Then I really strongly just asked them to helping me. I can qualify. I could qualify only 2.6. So which means about $600,000 is not enough for that I can qualify. So that's why I was just, but still trying to negotiate it, whichever possible I can get it. Even getting it. Previously I experienced with the $600,000, can I have some owner financing or whatever? Then he asked owner, then owner asked owner asked him, who is this guy? Then they explained, what? He wanted to buy it? I'm going to see him. Then he visiting me, and he was one of my students, former student as a father. And he said that he was unbelievably appreciating me because his sons became as a Boeing company, executive with the Boeing company. While before started Taekwondo, he was a very shy young man. And because I made his life, changed it. That's why he said this, don't worry, $600,000, you don't need to pay it. I will cut down $600,000. So just he gave me $2.6 million, just without even any was financing or anything. He just letting me get those buildings like that. So I'm really benefit from those things because of something. Because of Taekwondo. Then he said as the first our grand opening, he tell everybody, reason why I sold this building to the Grandmaster Lee, because it's I know he can benefit so many young people in our town. I'd rather give it to him than it's getting another $600,000 from other people. That's what he tell everybody. Okay? Okay, then it's after whatever you have time, as my dojang's about little over 2 miles from here, H.K. Lee Taekwondo. Then you can, H.K. Lee TKD family.com, then it's actually that's our website, hktkdfamily.com, or hktkd.com for the just business website. So you can getting address. You can stop by any time and go inside. About 20,000 square foot. And we have is music school and art school and the 3 floor of Taekwondo Jang and so many things. Maybe you can compare with the your dojang as well. Okay? All right. And now I'd like to introduce as some Leah, my lectures, but she can explain to the better. That's why I asked her to help me for the explain, because they organize, the professional people, they organize about PTs. So I have to read it one by one. That's why I decided to just talk from my heart. And those reading parts, maybe I want to narrow do that. Okay? All right, good. Thank you. And I will conclude later. So sit down.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Grandmaster Lee. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? Before I properly introduce myself, I'm just going to go right in and introduce the concept of the Taekwondo Spirit. Bear with me. Kukkiwon Taekwondo Spirit. What is the Taekwondo Spirit? It's how we gain spiritual power through Taekwondo techniques, how we develop our dojang as a field of character education, and a must practice lead by example of virtues and actions. It's the foundation and essential condition for realizing the successful life of Taekwondo practitioners. Now, the spirit gained through Taekwondo techniques has social virtue, which is courtesy, consideration, humility, and honesty. Then we have mental ability, which is patience, confidence, courage, and concentration. Then we have our ideological realm. That's the purpose of Taekwondo training and the fundamental meaning of training. So the mental power Taekwondo practitioners want to achieve, the social virtues to be kept, and the ideology to be pursued. The necessity of the Taekwondo spirit is one, we have a bicycle here with a back wheel, and then we have the Taekwondo technique. The technique and spirit must work together to achieve better results. The spirit without technique or technique without spirit cannot move Taekwondo forward. So the composition of the Taekwondo spirit is one, self-awareness, overcoming self. That's a beautiful part of Taekwondo, isn't it? It's not about competing with others. It's not about beating others. It's about winning me, overcoming myself. And then we exercise self-control, willpower, and mentality. And we go back to, as Grandmaster Lee said, benefiting the world, the Hongik person. So we practice winning ourselves, exercising self-control, willpower, and strength. And then we take all that, and our purpose is to give back to the world, to benefit the world with our Taekwondo spirit. So the overcoming self is the inner willpower factor, and benefiting the world is pursuing external social virtue and the common good. So the details of the Taekwondo spirit is, first, discover your potential as a mental ability that Taekwondo practitioners should cultivate. Again, benefiting the world with the ideology of Taekwondo practitioners, overcoming self and benefiting the world with the basic spirit of Taekwondo. As a Taekwondo practitioner, you must deeply engrave and practice for a successful life, for the ultimate self-realization, the epiphany of a lifetime. Next is a Taekwondo doctrine. We have the enterprising life, realistic lifestyle, specific behavioral guidelines. It is a curriculum and method of Taekwondo field training that makes it more clearly practiced in the daily life of trainees. What is the meaning of the Taekwondo doctrine? It's a clear awareness of the right direction for trainees and leaders to act. It's to establish moral goals and apply them practically, and to build trust to the trainee themselves, their family, as well as the people around them. The 5 compositions of the Taekwondo doctrine is passion, lifelong training and love for Taekwondo. Second is justice, compliance, rule implementation, good judgment, and fairness. Third is courage, strong mind, confidence, determination, and a challenging spirit. We have a spirit where we challenge. The fourth is perseverance, endurance, patience, goal, and strong focus. And finally, we have courtesy, politeness, respect, humility, consideration, and honor. These are the 5 compositions of the Taekwondo doctrine. Now, the relationship between the Taekwondo spirit and the Taekwondo doctrine, as we'll go over, the spirit is social virtue, mental ability, ideological realm. The doctrine is passion, justice, courtesy, perseverance, and courage. How can we synchronize the Taekwondo spirit and the Taekwondo doctrine? What is the thing that can link them together? A study of a character education program that can make a practical connection between the abstract concept of Taekwondo spirit and the Taekwondo doctrine was taking place. So we've done a research study of the Taekwondo spirit-based character education. First, we would like to express deep and utter gratitude to the Kukkiwon HQ and Grandmaster Lee for providing us with an opportunity to share our campaign with you, where we've joined the Taekwondo Spirit and Taekwondo Doctrine to create a new character education program in the digital age. With 46 years of experience in research, to provide a take-home Taekwondo Spirit-based character education program. Why we did this is, first, we found out that 80% of total Taekwondo trainees over the world are children. They learn Taekwondo skill training and spirit training. Therefore, a character education program is essential for these kids. The other 20% are youth or adult trainees. Therefore, because of their maturity, mental maturity, so training, they'll absorb the spirit. It's not as easy for children. So they can self-learn the Taekwondo doctrine. That's why a character education program is very important for these children who make up 80%, the big majority of total trainee population. The social position of Taekwondo Dojang on children's character is the Dojang is a place that provides social education to children by teaching character education, a subject unavailable at academic schools or at home. Think about what I'm saying. Taekwondo Dojangs, we provide such an important education, character education, to children. But this character education is unavailable at academic schools where they spend a lot of time, more than they do at Dojang, or at home, because parents they don't have the material to teach the character education to their children. And through our studies, we found that the dojang method, the Taekwondo method of instructions, Taekwondo skill training, and Taekwondo spirit training has been the most excellent way, through experiential and group training, the excellent way to teach character education to everybody. So we go from an analog era to the digital, and we come to the fourth industrial revolution. What is a program that can respond to these changing times? And thus we'll provide to you the research study results. So who are our customers or our target for this new program? We've always known it's parents and children. And why is that? The purpose of the child when they come to dojang is entertainment, and the purpose of the parent is character education. Therefore, it is necessary to satisfy both parties simultaneously. As I mentioned before, 80%, children account for 80% of total Taekwondo trainee population. Therefore, there is a high demand for a character education program. One phenomena about Taekwondo dojangs is new students join every month. Every month we get new students, but the total number of trainees don't increase. That means there are current student dropouts. Studies show that if it's 10 people per month for 12 months, there should be a maintained increase of 120 people for a year. But many schools were not able to make that possible. So what are the causes of these dropouts? In order to get a better idea, G3 did a case study. Now, this information is based on a telephone survey of 1,000 parents with children 3 to 9 years old who decided to drop out in the past in cooperation with 100 Taekwondo schools within 50 states of the US. Please note that this survey data is 100% the opinion of the parents and may differ from the master's opinions. Our first factor of dropout cause is lack of character education at home or school. So parents love that their children learn character education through physical training. They love it. However, they're disappointed that their children fail to develop the character education learned at dojang as a lifestyle habit to apply at home and at their academic school. So a lot of parents believe the character education learned through martial arts training at the dojang is not effective at home. The second factor is lack of character education textbooks or teaching materials. Dojangs provide materials for the kids, and they love that. However, again, they're dissatisfied because there's no textbooks to teach children at home what they learned at the dojang. And parents really do think the character education taught through textbooks is much more important than the martial arts training taught for 40 minutes. This is a parent's perspective. The third factor, again, is lack of materials to practice meditation. Meditation was a big part. Meditation training that children learn briefly at the dojang is essential for relieving children's stress, but there's no program that can be taught at home. Again, parents love what happens at dojang. They love what the children exercise and practice at dojang. They're just disappointed that everything they learn cannot be transferred to home, because meditation practice is essential for relieving stress at home. But there are no methods or textbooks to teach their children. Children are gonna be more stressed in school, at home, when they fight with their parents, fight with their siblings, or stressed out because of school. But they know how to meditate at dojang. The masters teach them. But what are the parents gonna do? So we're starting to notice a major common denominator. Everything happens at dojang. but nothing is happening at home or at school. So from a parent's point of view, the 2-minute meditation practice is an important exercise to be practiced at home to help as a stress reliever for children. The fourth factor is the time difference spent at Dojang versus at home. Dojang provides character education for 45 minutes a week, but at home, character education is required 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I never thought about that, but the study showed. So within a year, we calculated the hours of children excluding 8 hours of sleep. That's 5,840 hours a year. Twice a week, 1 hour of Dojang training, that's 104 hours. So time spent at Dojang is 1.8%. But parents need something that can help their children practice character education 98.2% of the time. And the fundamental factor is a difference in teaching methods at Dojang versus at home. The Dojang teaches the spirit of character education as a group at the same place and at the same time. But at home, you have to teach how to practice the spirit each time when a situation arises. For example, at Dojang, respect your parents, respect your friends, respect your siblings, and they follow, they listen. It's when they come home, my kids start speaking rudely to me, and I tell them, you need to be respectful, and they go, why? And I don't have an answer. And I can't call master and be like, can you talk to my kid for me? He's being very rude to me. It's heartbreaking. So again, parents love the group character education training, but they're disappointed that the character education practice doesn't take at home. So, how can these dropouts be prevented? What can we do? Answer we found is the Dojang character education program that parents are satisfied with should continue to be taught, while the home character education program should be provided to parents to prevent dropout. Therefore, through our research and study, we created a program that is completely separate from the Dojang program so that parents can teach it at home. I understand the master's concerns. Are the trainees going to be confused? What we teach them at Dojang might be different from what they're taught at home. You don't need to worry about with this campaign. It's completely separate. The children and trainees will follow the Dojang teachings. This is just a program that parents and children at home can continually practice character education. And the solution we found, the ultimate solution, is master parents for proud Taekwondo children. What this is parents of new students are appointed as masters of the home. In addition, master parents study and practice character education together with their children 7 days a week. We've created an online branch, and we've called it the Master Parents Online Branch.com. We are happy to answer any questions outside after this presentation. Thank you very much for joining me and allowing me to share this campaign with you.
Okay. Let's give one big hand for the love, please. It's I know we all teaching character education at your Dojang, but sometimes I realize whatever I taught at the Dojang, when they go home, totally doing different things, because their parent has no manuals for what our Dojangs are doing. So they're using it, the same education systems at home. That's why as I was really concerned with how we're going to let the student to practice something we taught at the dojang, then they can teach the same principle at home. That's why I starting to work with them and develop these programs. But can be useful, can be not, depends on what kind of philosophy do you have, what type of instruction, character education program you have at your dojang. But it's just I wanted to share with you about my experience, how we handling those character educations. So this is my sharing time. I think there was time is up now. That's why I wanted to just getting over just a few questions. If you have, then I will answer your questions. Then we can conclude our classes. Do you have any questions?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
So you're still at the dojang that the woman
Hmm?
He asked if you're still if we're still at Spring Street or if we're at the new dojang. Are we at a new dojang or are we still at the old dojang?
Oh, where is the new dojang? New dojang.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
my name is Hello.
Yeah.
You come from Korea and you came to the States.
Mm-hmm.
Which are the most important challenges in terms of education? Because in Asia you have certain philosophy, and in the West we have certain different cultures and habits. How do you adapt, and which are the main challenges you face when you came in?
You know what? It's you believe or not, American education systems influence every other countries. Influenced every other countries. Actually, we adopted the American education system in Korea. So that's why when I came to the United States, easily understand about American education systems, but I realized so much different than used to be. I learned it from the history. Because, you know, America's immigration countries. So that's why seems every year they laws are changing it. Education systems are changing it. That's why a lot of important things these days are missing it. So I'm trying to, beginning when I came to the state and when I was teaching Taekwondo, everybody wanted to learn how to defend themselves. But these days, all the parents want their children to discipline. It's very different, very different. So I can adopt those programs. I can go by the whatever is a program. But used to be in Korea, I did with this, we grown up with the spanking. In the United States, when I came to the United States, you believe or not, I did a spank too. I did a spank to the student. One of my dearest was the student who just passed away not too long ago. he was, when he was Herndon police, when he started Taekwondo. Then later on, he became a vice mayor of the town of Herndon. Then he became a police chief. Then everywhere he go, he tell everybody, I'm his second father. He's only 3 years younger than me. His grandchildren's way older, and his children's way older than my children's. But he still call everybody, proudly say everybody, I'm his second father. He said I made his life different. That was then. That was 46 years ago. I spanked him with this really bad. I spanked him in many classes. It's a lot. Something I learned from Korea. I thought that was the right things to do. Then you know what? I walk around the street, then some children are smoking. I grab it, then smoking and smash it, then I swap it. So that's what I did. Then later on, it's some police came and asked me, not doing that. So I said, I yelled to the policeman, something your job, so I'm doing it for you. Why you complain? He's laughing. That's what I did. I didn't have any guilty feeling because my heart was something, what is right for our society. So that's why I said it's when all the teachers, when you're teaching your student, correct the student without love, that's not what's correcting. They express about your hatred. Without love, you never correct anybody. That's what I said to all my instructors. Correct the student, but you must love them first. Without love, don't ever try to correct anybody. Okay? So if you love somebody, I think that we can do a lot of things. If you talk with your heart, they understand. In the beginning, my English was horrible. And nobody understood. Even I couldn't order any food from McDonald's, so I had to point at our pictures because they don't understand what I wanted to order. I thought my English was not too bad, but they didn't understand. But it's, my beginning, I had a really difficult time. So many young people point me and say, Chinese change and go back to the China. I mean, so many people did that to me. Beginning, I was almost to go out and grab it and say maybe something smash them. But it's later on, I realized, wait a minute. For the teaching them, maybe that's not it. I was just smile and thank you. Then it's why I said thank you. You made me the power to I can become better than you. You made me remind so I can become more stronger to even way better than your life. Then it's a few years later, all town of Herndon, they all respected me. Even town mayors, he became the senate for the state senate. Then first things he applied, I'm this most was the valuable citizen, so much benefit to the citizen, benefit to the community, citizen proclamation. He applied to Virginia State Assembly. Then I got a certificate in my doza. So, but anyway, and it's all up to you. How you act, then result is going to be created. If you live positively, your life is going to be positively sooner or later. If you live negatively, then sooner or later, you will realize everything's become more negative. It's miserable. So it's up to you. You want it to be miserable, you practice miserable. You want it to be a success, practice like a successful people. So be more positive. Then be setting a good example. Teach with the student, lead by example. Okay, everybody? All right, then go for the next class. 감사합니다.